Hello, my name is Kimberly Lacrone, and today I will be discussing sexuality and sexualization. What do you think of when you hear the words first time? There are a lot of firsts that people experience, and today we will be discussing what constitutes as a first time in a sexual sense. Specifically, we will be discussing a woman's first time. Throughout this presentation, I will be discussing a woman's first time in a sexual context. A woman's first time depends on many things, including their sexual orientation and the person they experience it with. The exact definition of first time is up to each individual person, though society has determined that a heterosexual first time would constitute a man and a woman engaging in vaginal penile intercourse. Regardless of sexual orientation, one's first time is a significant milestone. However, for youth in the LGBTQ+ community, the lack of sound definition often leads to confusion and uncertainty. Homosexuality is a topic that only recently begun discussing in public sphere. Therefore, what homosexual sex is has yet to be defined. Depending on which woman they are, they may count their first time differently than another woman. Some may count their first time as engaging in any kind of oral, anal, or vaginal sex. Unlike heterosexuals, there is not one specific type of sex that counts for every homosexual woman. According to societal standards, a woman or girl's first time is supposed to be magical. But as like many other things in this world, societal standards are not realistic. Heterosexual women do not typically feel great satisfaction after having their first time. When going into having sex for the first time, whether you define it as this or that, it is important to maintain an open line of communication. Setting boundaries with your partner are essential and will lead to overall better success. Without communication, boundaries may be crossed, which can end with regrets on both sides. Even without having a strict definition of a first time, having sex for the first time in any capacity is a big step. Being between the ages of 12 and 14, the idea of sex can be exciting. You may feel as if you want to do it to be cool, or you may be genuinely curious. It is important to remember that you can only lose your virginity once. You can only have sex for the first time once. So even if you are feeling you are ready to take the next step with your partner, think to yourself, is this who I want my first time to be with? And if the answer is no, then do not allow your relationship to go to that next level. What is a virgin in regards to sex, and how does it relate to a girl's first time? It is often said in our modern society that a woman losing her virginity is for the first time is her having heterosexual penile vaginal intercourse. Like noted before, we are now aware that not everyone constitutes sex as the same thing. Therefore, losing your virginity may mean different things to different people. With that being said, in today's modern society, a virgin is someone who has never had penile vaginal intercourse with the opposite sex. Virginity is something that is sacred and part of a girl or woman that holds value and beliefs. Depending on which way you were raised, your religion, your race, ethnicity, and the media you are influenced by will have impact on how important virginity is to you. Different girls follow different sexual scripts. These are the ideas on how sex is supposed to happen according to different groups of people. Abstinence, for one, is just not having sex. Urgency, two, is the idea that you must have sex at a young age in order to gain or maintain high status with peers. And management, three, is thought that sex is inevitable, but there are ways to manage it. For example, having sex but being on birth control and using condoms. Though there is no right or wrong answer, there can be consequences to having sex and losing your virginity at such a young age. In simple terms, the younger you are, the less educated you are. Therefore, you are unaware of the risks you run while engaging in sex. The first risk is pretty obvious, and that is pregnancy. The second is STD or STIs. These are diseases and infections that you contract from having sex and are able to pass on to others. So even if you do not see losing your virginity as a bad thing, there are bad things that are possible to come of it. All of these things are important to take into account when contemplating having sex for the first time. Any form of intimacy with a partner requires careful consideration and discussion. Thank you. That will conclude today's talk about sexual orientation, having sex for the first time, being a virgin, and what a virgin is. Oftentimes, different people think there are different definitions which there are, so it is important to be educated on the different options, the different opinions, and just the sense that not everyone has the same opinion and definition for everything involving sex.